Join me today as we go to one of my favorite local grocery stores, and I'm going to show you some of the foods that stalled my weight loss in the past, some of the foods that stimulated my weight loss over the last 2 years, and how I've lost 86.5 pounds by shopping completely differently. So let's go. So I skipped this initial section where I first walk into the grocery store because I have found it's mainly filled with processed foods, potato chips, sodas, cookies, so I say bye-bye. What a great price on blackberries, $1.28 a package. I'll pick up a couple packages of those. And I usually opt for berries instead of apples and peaches and things like that because they are the other types of fruits are higher in carbohydrates. If you can stick with berries like blackberries, strawberries, blueberries, you're much better off on a diet. Now, I am a big cracker girl. I have to be honest with you. I love crackers. I love all kinds of crackers. My favorite kind of crackers are Ritz crackers. I can eat a whole box of them by myself with no help. I just think they're really, really delicious. But now I opt for a lower calorie, lower carb cracker. Now I go with a Wassa Crisp. These are amazing. You could put tuna or, chicken, anything you want on them. Sometimes like a deli meat and a cheese. They make a great sandwich. I love the sourdough. I love the light rye. But today I'm actually going to try the whole grain. I've never tried that before. So this is the one we're getting today. Whole grain Wassa Crisp bread. I also switched over the last couple years to buying popcorn in bulk and making it myself instead of the heavily buttered and oiled microwave popcorns. I love popcorn. Another big switch I made this year was opting for light mayonnaise instead of the regular, real heavy-duty mayonnaise. Big switch. I also love flour tortillas, so I have switched to a zero-carb tortilla rather than eating the traditional tortillas. I try to stay away from all the pre-made sauces. They're usually loaded with a lot of sugar. So if I'm going to make a sauce for something, I try to make it myself. Sometimes I make it out of like plain yogurt. I use all kinds of different ingredients, but I don't buy the sauces anymore in the store. Another thing that I've really given up completely is the spaghetti and pastas. I don't buy any of those types of noodles anymore. If I do, I try to stick with like the ones that are made out of chickpeas, or I have the spaghetti squash. The sauces that I do still get the seasoning packet for the taco mix. And they have all different kinds. I mean, it really doesn't matter. Whatever it is that you prefer. I add these to either ground beef or chicken, and they just make it really good for like a taco salad. So one of the processed splurges that I do still have is that I get the sugar-free instant pudding, and I also still get the sugar-free instant jellos. And then I look for the sugar-free jellos as well. No more processed ice cream. And one of the things I really love to get are the bagged frozen vegetables. They are really put together, flash frozen and packaged fresher, I think, than the canned vegetables. And they're always a great price. So this week I'm going to be getting some cut corn. And I'm also going to be getting some frozen peas. I'll get a bigger bag of peas. I pass on TV dinners, and I just make my own TV dinners from scratch from my leftovers. I try to pass on as many prepackaged foods now as possible, and I rely on a lot of my meal prep instead of prepackaged foods I have in the freezer. I used to love drinking soda, even diet sodas I thought were a great option, and occasionally I still have a diet soda, but I found that they have so many delicious sparkling waters now that I just keep those in the refrigerator all the time. So last week I tried this orange vanilla, this polar seltzer. It was really, really good. This year I'm gonna, or this week I'm gonna try a different flavor. I think I'm gonna go with the cranberry lime. Actually, I think I'll do the raspberry lime. I pass on the bakery section and prepackaged desserts altogether. And since my diet right now is not really allowing me to have bread, I actually pass this whole aisle altogether. So I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about how I grocery shop so different, some of the things I did in the past and some of the things I do now. First, I wanted to share with you the total for my grocery bills today was, with tax, $61.34. So I know, as I was showing you throughout the store, as soon as I get home, I start putting things away so that if I don't use them right away, I can, definitely take advantage of them at a later date without spoilage. So I never buy microwave popcorn or any of that anymore. I buy popcorn in bulk, and it's like 98 cents a pound. It's something ridiculous. And so I just go ahead and put this in a glass jar. I do this every time I go to the store. Very easy. And now I have popcorn for however long I need it, and I don't have to worry about it spoiling. I actually have an air popper and I have a regular popcorn maker. This is a great source of fiber, and it's also really low in calories if you skip all that butter and all that other stuff. So I've got popcorn, I've got some zero carb tortillas. I used to get the really heavy flour tortillas. I just love burritos and tacos and stuff like that. Breakfast burritos. And now I can do the zero carb tortillas and it's not a problem for me. I did get a pound of ground beef. I got a couple of fat-free cottage cheese. I make all my ice cream out of that, my smoothies in the morning, my protein smoothies, things like that. I did pick up a taco seasoning. I did get some of these little instant ramen things, a couple of these. About every 2 weeks I make buttered noodles for my grandkids. I got a package of mushrooms. I love to add these to eggs. Sometimes I do a recipe throughout the week, but these Baby Bella sliced mushrooms, these are a natural GLP-1, producer. So I like to eat mushrooms every week. I got some cabbage, and one of the things I wanted to point out is that I don't buy packages of carrots and potatoes and zucchini. In the summer, I have those fresh out of my garden, but right now I'm a little shy of that. So I just picked up enough for my soup today. I am going to use a couple potatoes, although I don't really eat a lot of potatoes on my diet now. I calculated it, and I can have some potatoes in my hamburger soup I'm making tonight. And so then I don't have the problem with spoilage. You know how it is. You buy a 2-pound bag of carrots, you eat 2 carrots, and then you throw the rest away. That's nonsense. I did get a couple of boxes of sugar-free instant pudding, along with the sugar-free Jell-O. I love to have Jell-O and cottage cheese as a dessert at night. And blackberries were on sale, so I picked those up. They were like $1.29 a pound, I think. Or a package. They were a great deal. And then a little bit of natural peanut butter. And then I was over in the clearance area, and they had canning lids by Kerr for $1 a box. So I bought a few boxes of those. And that's it for my groceries. I'm going to be making some delicious hamburger soup for tonight's dinner, and I hope you'll watch my next video that shows how I make it. I'll make all the macros and everything for that. But I really wanted to share with you how I do my grocery shopping different than when I did it in the olden days when I was just, getting anything I wanted. Now I really think about what I buy and what I put into my body. And as you can see, there's very little in the way of packaged pre-processed foods. Even the Jell-O, it is a little bit of a pre-processed food, but You know, Jell-O I think is very good for you. It's loaded with collagen, and I think as long as you stay away from the sugar, even that, you're okay. So what I found through changing my grocery shopping is that I have less cravings for different types of food because I'm not eating all the sugar and carbs that I used to. I'm eating healthier, I'm losing weight, I'm just feeling better overall. I think I've increased longevity, my numbers are better. I look at my health numbers, everything's going in a positive direction since I made these changes. So what I'm going to challenge you to do this week is to swap out one thing at the grocery store that maybe I gave you an idea to swap out this week. And let me know how it goes. Maybe you want to swap out 2 items. But I think as we go from the pre-processed, pre-packaged, quick, all that kind of stuff, and we start thinking about things that are going to be more healthy for us, I think you're going to see a huge difference, not just in the weight loss, but in the way that you feel. So I hope this gave you some ideas. I hope it inspired you in some way. If it did, can you consider subscribing to my channel if you're not a subscriber? Give me a like or a thumbs up. Ring that bell for future notifications, or share my video with someone that you think this might be of interest to. And I will see you next time, hopefully tomorrow night when we have that delicious, healthy hamburger soup. See you next time, everybody. Bye-bye.